Okay, so this gives you x equals 4 minus 2y. Then let's label this with 3. Then we can put 3 into equation 2. So that means minus 4x. X is 4 minus 2y, right? Minus 7y equals minus 12. Okay, so that means minus 16 plus 8y minus 7y equals minus 12. And this is actually equivalent to y equals 16 minus 12, which is 4, right? Okay, so let's say this is number 4. Then we can put number 4 into 3 to get the x here. X is 4 minus twice of y, which is minus 4. So the final conclusion is x equals minus 4, y equals 4. Right? Any questions? Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, next question. Let's say this is equation 1 and this is number 2. All right, usually we'll convert all the ratios to integers to make the system of linear equations simpler, right? So for the first equation, you can time 24 both sides of the equation, right? So this will give us minus 2x plus 3y, right? Equals 24. Okay. And for equation 2, we can time a 3 to both sides. And this will give us 3x minus 8y equals minus 57, right? Okay, then let's say this is 3 and this is 4. Okay, so how do we eliminate x or y? You can use equation 3 time 3 to both sides of this equation. This will give us minus 6x plus 9y equals 72, right? Okay, let's say this is 5. And then for number 4, we can time 2 to both sides, which will give us 6x minus 16y equals minus 114, right? Okay, so next we can use equation 5 plus equation 6. And this will give us minus 7y equals minus 114 plus 72. And this will give us minus 42, right? Okay, so that means y is 6, because 7 by 6 is 42. You need to pay attention to the signs here. This is a positive 6, right? Okay, so let's denote this with number 7. Then we can put number 7 into equation 3. This will give us minus 2x plus 3y. 3y is 18 equals 24, right? So that means 2x is minus 6. That means x is minus 3. Okay, so here the final solution is x equals minus 3 and y equals 6, right? Okay, have a look at this. Any questions? Okay, if you have no questions, let's have a look at next one. Okay, next one, let's see. This is number 1, this is number 2. And okay, again, usually I think you can convert the decimals to integers to make the questions simpler, right? So for the first one, we can time a 10, right? Or a 5. Actually, 5 is enough. We can time a 5 to both sides of equation 1. This will give you 3x plus 2y equals minus 10, right? Okay, next, the second equation. Again, we can time a 5 to both sides. 5 is enough. It's okay if you use a 10, okay? And this will give us 7x plus 3y equals minus 35. Okay, and then I think it's better to eliminate all the y's here. Okay, that means we need to time a 3 to both sides of equation 3. This will give us 9x plus 6y equals minus 30, right? Let's call this number 5. And then for equation 4, we can time a 2 to both sides. And this will give us 14x plus 6y equals minus 70, right? Okay, let's say this is number 6. And then we can use number 6 subtracted by equation 5. This will give us 5x, right? Because 6y is subtracted by 6y, and this is cancelled. 5x is minus 7, minus 70 plus 30, which is minus 40, right? Okay, so that means our x is minus 8. Let's call this 7. And then we can plug 7 into equation 3. This will give us minus 24 plus 2y equals minus 10. So we can solve y here is 14 minus 10, which is 4, divided by 2, which is 2, right? Sorry, not 2. 14 minus by 14 subtracted by 10 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7, right? Okay, so here, final solution is x equals -8 and y is 7. Okay, any questions? No? All right, let's see the next one. Next one, actually, this is not a linear equation, right? Both of the equations are not linear. So usually we need to convert these equations to linear equations by using substitution method, right? So first of all, let's use the letter m to substitute the reciprocal of x, and 1 over y is denoted by n, right? So the original system is equivalent to the new system, which is 2m plus 3n equals 6. And 2m minus n is minus 10, right? And now this system is a linear system of is a system of linear equations. Okay, in order to solve it, let's label this with 1 and 2. In order to solve it, we can use equation 1 subtracted by equation 2, and this will give us 4n equals 16, right? Okay, that means n is 4. Okay, let's say this is 3. Then we can put equation 3 into 1, and you will get 2m plus 3n. 3n is 12, right? And this equals 6. Okay, from here we can solve m is minus 6 over 2, which is minus 3, right? Okay, so n is 4, then m is minus 3 means 1 over x is minus 3. So this means x is minus 1/3. N is 4, that means 1 over y is 4. Okay, that means y is 1 over 4. So the final solution is x is minus 1 over 3. And y is a quarter, right? Okay, have a look at that. Any questions? No? Okay, let's see question 5. Okay, question 5, now we have 3 linear equations, right? A system of 3 linear equations. How do we solve this? We need to reduce the number of variables, remember? So we need to reduce 3 equations to 2 equations, right? Okay, so let's label this with 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3 respectively. So where should we start? I think the second equation is simpler, right? So we can start from the second equation because here we can solve that in terms of x and y directly without introducing any ratios, right? Okay, so it's better to start with equation 2. Equation 2 tells us that z is minus 2x plus 5y plus 10, right? Because if you put that to the right hand side and minus 10 to the left hand side, you will get this new equation. So this is labeled with 4. Then we can put 4 into both equation 1 and equation 3, right? For example, if we put 4 into equation 1, and this will give us minus 3x plus 7y plus 2z. 2z means 2 of the above expression, which is minus 2x plus 5y plus 10, right? And equals minus 8. Okay, so let's simplify this new equation. Minus 3x plus 7y. Pay attention to the signs here, okay? When you use the distributive law, pay especially attention to the signs. So here we have minus 4x plus 10y plus 20. Okay, plus 8 equals 0. Okay, then let's combine all the similar terms. Minus 3x minus 4x gives us minus 7x. 7y plus 10y means 17y, right? Okay, and equals 28. On the other side of the equation, you will get minus 28, right? Okay, double check. Minus 7x, 17y equals minus 28. Okay, so let's call this number 5. Then when you plug equation 4 into equation 3, you will get, okay, remember, don't put equation 4 into 2 because equation 4 is derived from equation 2. You cannot put it back. If you put it back, you will get, of course, you will get an equation that is always true, right? Because number 4 is derived from number 2, so don't put it back. You should put it in equation 1 and equation 3, okay? So when you put it in equation 3, you will get 8x minus 2y plus 3z. 3z means 3 times minus 2x plus 5y plus 10, right? Okay, that means left-hand side equals 38. Okay, so let's then simplify this equation. 8x minus 2y. Again, pay attention to signs here. Minus 6x plus 15y plus 30 minus 38 equals 0. Okay, and 2x plus 13y equals 8. Okay, so let's call this number 6. Okay, and then we need to use equation 5 and equation 6 to solve x and y first, right? So this means a system with two linear equations. We have already know that how we should solve this system, right? So we can time the 2 to both sides of equation 5. This will give us minus 14x plus 34y equals minus 56. Okay, let's say this is 7. And time a 7 to both sides of equation 6 will give us 14x plus 91y equals 56. Okay, so let's say this is number 8. So in order to eliminate x, we can use 7 plus 8, and this will give us 1, 2, 5, y equals 0, right? Okay, so that means y is 0. Okay, so let's call this number 9. Then you can put number 9 into either number 5 or number 6. So how about number 6? So this means 2x plus 0 equals 8, right? Then you can solve x here. X is 4. So let's call this number 10. Then you can put number 9 and number 10 into either equation 1, 2, or 3, right? Or 4. So let's put it in 4. So that will give you, that is minus 2x, means minus 2 times a 4, plus 0, plus 10. This is 2, right? Okay, so final conclusion is x is 4, y is 0, and z is 2, right? Okay, have a look at that. Any questions here? Okay, so the key to solve a system of 3 linear equations is to reduce the number of variables first. Convert this system to a system of 2 linear equations and solve the new system, and then put the 2 variables back into the original system to solve the rest of the variable. Okay? All right, if you don't have any questions, let's move on to the next one. Okay, from question 6 to question 18. These are the word problems, right? Or you can call this application problems. So there's another step called mathematical modeling. You need to translate English expression into mathematical language, which means equations or system of equations, right? Okay, so let's see number 6. Sum of two numbers is 79, and their difference is 23. What are the two numbers? Okay, so you want to know the two numbers here, right? We don't know their quantities, so we can use two letters to denote their quantities and try to solve that two letters, right? Okay, so let's say suppose the two numbers are x and y, or a and b, or m and n. Letters does not matter, okay? Letters don't matter. So let's say we use x and y here. Okay, so pay special attention to the sentences that containing numbers. So the first number tells us that sum of these two numbers, that means x plus y, right? Sum of these two numbers is 79. This is the first information we have interpreted from the English expression. So how about the second information? Second piece of information is their difference is 23. So that means x minus y is 23. Or you can say y minus x is 23. It does not matter because we don't know which one is larger, right? So let's suppose x is the larger one. Okay, so this is a system of linear equations, right? And from these linear equations, two variables, two equations, we should be able to solve x and y, right? So let's say this is 1, this is 2. And in order to solve it, we can use equation 1 plus equation 2. And this will give you 2x equals 1, 0, 3, 1, 0, 2, right? So that means x is 51. So let's call this equation 3. And then we can put equation 3 to either equation 1 or equation 2. So how about we put it into equation 1? This will give you 51 plus y equals 79, right? And from here you can solve y is 28. Sorry, I made a mistake here. 28, yes, 28. Okay, so the final solution of the system is x is Oh, actually, you don't have to write these. Let's make a conclusion. So the two numbers are 51 and 28. Okay, it's better to write this sentence here to tell the reader that the two numbers you're looking for are indeed 51 and 28 to make the statement clear. Okay. All right. Any questions here? No? Okay, let's say question 7. A Mirror League ballpark attracts 88 fans and draws in 553 in revenue from ticket sales. A child's ticket costs $4 and an adult's ticket is $7. How many of each type of ticket were sold? Okay, the questions is how many of each type of ticket were sold. That means how many child's tickets sold and how many adults tickets were sold, right? So let's use two letters. Let's say we use C to denote the child's tickets sold. Let's see denote the number of child's ticket sold. Okay, because C is the first letter of child, so it's easy to remember, right? Of course, you can use X, but I strongly recommend to use some letter that is meaningful, that is connected to your variables. Okay, and here, adult, how about A? Let A denote the number of adults tickets sold. Okay, then what piece of information do we know here? First one, we know that 88 fans, right? So that means the sum of these two numbers should equal 88, right? Because 88 tickets in total has been sold. Okay, how about the second piece of information? Second piece of information is the total revenue is 553. So that means the total of revenue from child's tickets, which is 4C, plus the total revenue from adults tickets, which is 7A, should equal the total revenue, which is 553, right? Okay, so here we have two variables and two equations, and we should be able to solve two variables here. Okay, so let's call this 1 and 2 respectively. Okay, from equation 1, we can get that C is 88 minus A, right? So let's call this number 3. And then we can put number 3 into equation 2. This will give you 4C. 4C is 4 times 88 minus A, right? Plus 7A equals 553. Okay, and then this will give us 352 minus 4A plus 7A is 553, right? Okay, so we have 3A equals 553 minus 352. That is 201. Okay, so A is 67, right? Okay, so let's call this number 4. Then we can put number 4 into number 3 to get C is 88 minus 67, which is 21, right? Okay, so that means Charles' ticket sold okay, that means 21 Charles tickets were sold and 67 adult ticket sold. Okay. Okay, any questions? No questions? Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, question 8. You are running a concession stand at a basketball game. You are selling hot dogs and sodas. Each hot dog costs $1.50 and each soda costs $0.50. At the end of the night, you made a total of $78.50. You sold a total of 87 hot dogs and sodas combined. You must report the number of hot dogs sold and number of sodas sold. How many hot dogs were sold and how many sodas were sold? Okay, so here we want to know two quantities here, right? How many hot dogs were sold and how many sodas were sold? Okay, so let's use two letters to denote these two quantities. So how about H? Let H denote the number of hot dogs sold, and let sodas, how about S? Let S denote the number of sodas sold. Okay, so here we want to solve H and S. Okay, so what information do we have here? First piece of information is we have made a total of $78.50, right? So that means total revenue from soda, which is total revenue from hot dog, which is 1.5 H, plus total revenue from sodas, which is 0.50 S, should equal 78.5, right? So this is the first piece of information. How about the second piece? Second piece of information is sold a total of 87 hot dogs and sodas combined, right? So that means H and S combined is 87, right? Okay, so here we have two variables and two equations. You should be able to solve both of them, right? Okay, so let's say this is number 1 and this is number 2. Okay, this time we can start from number 2. Number 2 tells us that H is 87 minus S, right? So let's call this number 3. And then we can put number 3 into number 1. And this will give us 1.5 times H, which is 87 minus S plus 0.5 S equals 78.5, right? Okay, so let's simplify this equation here. So 1.5 times 87 plus, sorry, not plus, should be minus, right? Attention to the signs here. Minus 1.5 plus 0.5 is minus s. This equals 78.5. So here s is, okay, this is so s is actually 52, right? Okay. And let's say this is 4. And then we can plug 4 into 2 to get the quantities for h. H is 87 minus s, which is 52. And h, of course, is 35, right? Okay, so we have the conclusion here. Hot dogs sold is 35, and sodas sold is 52, right? Okay, have a look at that. Any questions? No? Okay, let's see. Next one. You and a friend go to Tacos Glory for lunch. You order 3 soft tacos and 3 burritos, and your total bill is $11.25. Your friend's bill is $10 for 4 soft tacos and 2 burritos. How much do soft tacos cost? How much do burritos cost? Okay, so we want to know the price of these two, right? So we can use 2 letters to denote the unit price for tacos or burritos, right? Okay, so we can use T to denote the price of 1 soft tacos. One soft taco, okay? And we can also use a letter B to denote the price of 1 burrito, right? Okay, so we want to solve T and B here, right? Of course, from the given information. So what information do we know here? First information is if I order 3 soft tacos and 3 burritos, total price would be 11.25, right? So that means, okay, that means 3 soft tacos, 3T, right? Plus 3 burritos, which is 3B. This is a total price, right? Total price is 11.25. Okay, so this is the first information. Second piece of information is if we order 4 tacos plus 2 burritos, 2B, the total price is 10, right? So this is what we have known for the given information. We have successfully interpreted the information from the English expression to mathematical language, right? So based on this system of linear equations, we should be able to find the value of T and B, right? Okay, so note that it's better to start from the second equation, okay? Because you can directly solve b is actually 5 minus 2t, correct? So let's call this 3. Then we can put number 3 into the first equation, which will give you 3t plus 3b, which is 3 of 5 minus 2t equals 11.25. Okay, so let's further simplify this. 3t minus plus 15 minus 60 equals 11.25. Okay, so this will give us 3t equals 3.75. Okay, so this will give us t is 1.25, right? This is a unit price of soft tackle. Okay, the unit, of course, is dollars, right? So let's put unit here. Okay, and then this is labeled with a 4. Then we can put equation 4 into equation 3, and this will give us b is 5 minus 2 times 1.25, which is 2.5. Unit is dollars, right? Okay, so that means price of one soft tackle is 1.25, and the price of one burrito is 2.5, right? Okay, so let's make the conclusion here. And thus, the price of one soft tackle is 1.25, and the price of one burrito is $2.5. Okay, do not forget unit. Okay, please have a look at that. Any questions? Please let me know. No questions? Okay, let's see the next one. Question 10. Sum of the charges of the quarks in a particle gives the overall charge of the particle. 2 up quarks and a down quark make a proton, which has charge 1. On the other hand, 2 down quarks and an up quark make a neutron, which has charge 0. What is the charge of an up quark? Okay, actually, a little background of physics is very helpful to understand this problem, but it's okay if you do not know any physics about it. So you actually want to find the charge of an up quark, right? So let's say, suppose we can use a letter to denote the quantity here. Let's say, suppose the charge of an up quark is, how about U, stands for up quark, okay? So any else we don't know here. Also, we don't know the charge of a down quark, right? So let's suppose the charge of a down quark is D. So what piece of information do we know here? We know that two up quarks and down quark has a charge of 1, right? Okay, so that means 2u plus 1d is 1, right? This is the first piece of information. Next one, we know that two down quarks plus an up quark has a charge of 0. Okay, that means 2d plus an up quark plus a u equals 0, right? Do you understand this? This is interpreted from the given information, from the English expression to mathematical language. Understand? Okay, and from now on, the problem becomes easier, right? All you need to do is to solve this system of linear equations. Okay, so let's say this is number 1, this is number 2. Okay, you can start either from number 1 or number 2. So suppose we start from equation 1. Equation 1 gives us d is actually 1 minus 2u, right? So let's label this with 3. Then you can put equation 3 into equation 2, and this will give you 2 times d, which is 1 minus 2u plus a u equals 0, okay? Okay, so that means 2 minus 4u plus u equals 0. So what is u here? U is 2 over 3, right? So let's call this 4. Then we can put 4 into 3. Then d is 1 minus 2 times 2 over 3, which is minus 1/3. Okay, so that means you can now make the conclusion. The charge of up quark is 2 over 3, and the charge of down quark is minus 1/3. Okay, have a look at that. Any questions? No? Okay, let's see the next one. Question 11. My father's age 5 years ago plus twice of my age now gives 65, while my age 5 years ago plus 3 times my father's age now gives 130. Okay, see, so this is the information we have, right? And based on this information, we want to know my father's current age. Okay, so suppose now my father is F years old. And we don't know my age, right? So let's say I am I years old. Okay, so here we want to know the value of F, right? So what information do we have here? First piece of information is 5 years ago. My father's age plus twice of my age now gives 65. Okay, so 5 years ago, my father is F minus 5 years old, right? That value plus twice of my age now, that means twice of I equals 65, correct? Okay, so this is the first piece of information. Next, we know that my age 5 years ago. So that means I minus 5. This is my age 5 years ago, right? So this value plus 3 times my father's age now. So that means 3 times f gives a value of 130, right? Okay, so this is interpreted from the given information. Okay, so first of all, they are not in its simplified form. So let's simplify the system first. First equation is 5 plus 2i equals 70. Second one is 3f plus I equals 135, right? Okay, so we can either start from the first equation and from the second equation, right? Okay, first equation tells us f is 70 minus 2i. So let's call this 3. And then we can put 3 into the other equation 2 to get actually 3 times f, which is 70 minus 2i plus I equals 135, right? So this tells us 210 minus 6i plus I equals 135. So we can solve I here, right? Okay, that means 5i equals 210 minus 135. This equals 75, right? Okay, so that means I is 15. And let's call this number 4. Then we can plug number 4 into equation 3, and this will give us f is 70 minus 2i. 2i is 30, so f is 40, right? Okay, so here we have solved I and f. It only asks you the value of f, which is my father's age, right? So let's make the conclusion. Therefore, my father is 40 years old now. Right? Okay, any questions? No questions? You can follow me, right? Okay, let's see question 12. When flying in the calm air with no headwind or tailwind, with its propellers rotating at a particular rate, a small airplane has a speed of s kilometers per hour. With the propeller rotating at the same rate, the airplane flies 400 kilometers in 2 hours as it flies against a headwind, and 900 kilometers in 3 hours flying with the same wind as a tailwind. Find S and find the speed of the wind. Okay, here the speed actually means ground speed, right? If you fly against the wind, for example, this is the wind, this is the direction of the wind, and this is our airplane. Okay, if airplane flying against the wind, the ground speed is the airplane's speed minus the wind speed, right? Make sense? And on the contrary, suppose the wind does not change, but the direction of the airplane has changed. Okay, the airplane's speed is ground speed plus the speed of the wind, right? Do you understand that? Okay, so here we want to know the speed of the wind, right? Suppose we denote this with a W, the speed of the wind. And we also want to know the speed of the airplane, right? Okay, the speed of the airplane is denoted by S. So what information do we have here? Okay, as I said, pay special attention to the sentences containing the numbers. First piece of information comes from here. The airplane flies 400 kilometers in 2 hours as it flies against a headwind, right? So in the first situation, this is a headwind. It flies against a headwind. The speed is S minus W, right? Okay, this is the speed times time, which is 2 hours. And then this equals the total distance it traveled, which is 400, right? Okay, so the second piece of information, if the airplane flying with the same wind at tailwind, this is a tailwind. And now the speed is S plus W, right? Okay, so this is the speed times the time it traveled, which is 3 hours, equals to the total distance it traveled, which is 900 kilometers, right? Okay, so these are the two pieces of information we know. Okay, here we have two variables and two informations. Sorry, two variables and two equations, right? And we should be able to calculate the value of these two variables. So first, let's simplify this equation. First one is equivalent to S minus W equals 200. Second equation is equivalent to S plus W equals 300, right? So let's call this number 1 and number 2. Okay, from here, you should be able to know how to solve this system, right? We can use number 1 plus number 2, and this will give us 2S equals 500. So that means S is 250. Okay, so let's call this number 3. Then you can put number 3 into first equation. This will give us W is 250 minus 200. Of course, W is 50, right? Don't forget the unit. The unit of the speed here is kilometers per hour. Sorry. Kilometers per hour. Okay, so now we can make the conclusion. S is 250 kilometers per hour. And speed of the wind is 50 kilometers per hour. Okay, please have a look at that. Any questions? No? Okay, let's see. Question 13. Okay, suppose Lindsay's mom invests 10,000 part at 3% and the rest at 2.5% in interest-bearing accounts. The total yearly investment income interest is 283. How much did Lindsay's mom invest at each rate? Okay, so what does this mean? If you invest 10,000 only in the 3%, how much you will get there? You will get 300, right? If you invest this total amount of money to a 2.5%, how much you will get? You will get 250, right? So Lindsay's mom partially invested at 3% and partially to 2.5%. So she gets 283, which is amount in between these two values, right? So we want to know how much did she invested to the 3% and how much did she invested at 2.5%, right? These are the two unknown quantities. So let's say we use letter X to denote the amount of money. Okay, the unit is dollars invested at 3%. And Y stands for the amount of money. Okay, unit is dollars invested at 2.5%. Okay, okay. And now we want to know the value of X and Y, right? Okay, so this should be solved from the given information. So what information do we have here? First of all, we know that the sum of X and Y should equal to the total amount of money, which is 10,000, right? Because we have 10,000 in total. Second, we know the total yearly investment income is 283, right? Okay, this is a total interest. Total interest comes from two parts. First part is 3% of X. The second part is 2.5% of Y, right? Okay, so the sum of these two numbers should equal to the total income. Okay, so now we have two variables and two equations, and we should be able to find the value of these two variables, right? Okay, let's say this is number one and this is number two. From number one, we can get X is actually 10,000 minus Y. Let's say this is number three. And then we can put 3 into equation 2. This will give us 0.03 times X, which is 10,000 minus Y, plus 0.025 Y equals 283, right? Okay, let's solve Y from here. So that means 300 minus 0.03Y plus 0.025Y equals 283, right? Okay, so that means 0.005Y equals 17, right? Okay, so Y is 3,400. Correct? Okay, of course, unit is dollars. So let's say this is number 4. Then we can put number 4 into number 3 to get the value of x. X is 1,000 minus 3,400, which is 6,600 dollars. Okay, so now we can make the conclusion. Lindsay's mom invested $6,600 at 3%, right? Because X stands for the amount of money invested as 3%. And $3,400 at 2.5%. Correct? Okay, please have a look at this. Any questions, let me know. No questions? Okay, let's see. Question 14. Leah walks to the mall from her house at 5 mph. 10 minutes later, Leah's sister Megan starts riding her bike at 15 mph from the same house to the mall to meet Leah. They arrive at the mall at the same time. How far is the mall from the sister's house? How long did it take Megan to get there? Okay, so let's suppose this is a house and this is a shopping mall. Okay, and first, Leah walks to the mall, right? So we have a walker here. The speed is 5 miles per hour, right? Okay, then we have a cyclist. And the speed of the cyclist is 15 miles per hour, right? And she starts 10 minutes later. Okay, because mph means miles per hour. So it's better to change the minutes unit to hours. 10 minutes means 1/6 hours later, right? Okay, and they arrive at the same time. So basically, this is a model of this problem, right? Okay, so what do we want to know here? How far is the mall from the sister's house? This is the first quantity we want to know. Second one, we want to know how long did it take Megan to get there? Okay, so let's suppose the distance between the house and the mall is L. How about D? D for distance, okay? And the unit is miles because the unit of the speed is miles per hour, right? So it's better to use the miles as unit of the distance. Okay, next we want to know how long did it take Megan to get there? And it takes, how about T, hours? Sorry, it takes Megan takes Megan T hours to get there. Okay, so we want to know the values of D and T. Okay, so what information do we have here? So first of all, we know that if you walk from the house to the mall, your speed is 5 miles per hour, right? 5 miles per hour times the time taken, which is T plus 1/6, right? Because T here stands for Megan's time. And Leah spent 1/6 more hours than Megan. So time taken for Leah is T plus 1/6, correct? Okay, so speed times time taken equals the distance. Distance is D, right? Understand? The first relationship is derived from Leah. And the second information is derived from Megan, which is if she travels at 15 miles per hour times the time taken, which is T, right? And this should equal also D, right? Also total distance traveled. Okay, so basically these are the two pieces of information we have. Two variables and two equations. We should be able to solve this equation. Okay, so let's put number 2 into number 1. Then we will get 5t plus 5/6 equals 15t, right? Okay, then we time a 6 to both sides, which is 30t plus 5 equals 90t. So what is t here? I mean 60t equals 5, right? So t is 5/60, which is 1/12. Hours. Remember the unit is hours, right? So let's say this number 3. And then we can put number 3 into number 2 to get d is 15 times t, which is 1/12. So this will give us 5/4, which is 1.25. The unit is miles, remember? Okay, so here we get the value of t and d. And now we can make the conclusion. The distance is 1.5 miles. Okay, Megan's time is 1/12 hours. Okay. All right. Any questions? No? Okay. Let's see question 15. Two angles are supplementary. The measure of one angle is 30 degrees smaller than twice of the other. Find the measure of each angle. Okay, so this is simpler than the previous question, right? So let's say let x and y denote the two angles. Okay, so here we want to know the value of x and y, right? Okay, the unit is degrees. Okay, so what pieces of information do we have here? First one is two angles are supplementary. That means the sum of x, y should equal 180, right? Because they are supplementary angles. So second, one angle is 30 degrees smaller than twice of the other. So twice of the other, how about 2y? X is 2y smaller, right? 30 smaller. So that means x equals 2y minus 30, right? Okay, so basically we need to solve the two variables from this system. So note that we can directly put 2 into 1. This will give us 2y minus 30 plus y equals 180, which is 3y equals 210. So that means y is 70, right? So let's call this 3. And then we can put 3 into 2. This will give us x equals 140 minus 30, which is 110, right? Okay, so now we can make the conclusion. The two angles are 110 degrees and 70 degrees. Okay. Any questions? No? Okay, let's see question 16. 8 women and 12 girls can paint a large mural in 10 hours. 6 women and 8 girls can paint it in 14 hours. Find the time to paint the mural by 1 woman alone and 1 girl alone. Okay, so suppose one woman can paint it in W hours. And one girl can paint it in G hours. So that means we want to know the value of W and G, right? Okay, so what information do we have here? A woman can paint it in W hours. That means the work rate of this woman is 1 over W, right? So the work rate of one woman is 1 over W plus 8 women. This is a total work rate of 8 women, right? Okay, plus the work rate of one girl is 1 over G. So that means when you have 12 girls, the work rate of all the girls is 1 over G times 12, right? Okay, so this is the total work rate times the time taken, which is 10, equals the job done. The job done is 1 mural, right? Okay, so this is the first information we have here. Okay, next, if we have 6 women, that means 1 over W times a 6, right? This is a total work rate of 6 women, plus the total work rate of 8 girls, then times the time taken to finish the job equals the job completed, which is 1 mural, right? Okay, so we have 2 variables and 2 equations, and we should be able to find the solutions to these 2 values. And note that this is not a linear system of equations, right? So we need to use substitution method to let it become a linear equation. So we can use a letter M to denote 1 over W, and let me use letter N to denote 1 over G. Then the original system becomes 8M plus 12N times 10 equals 1. And 6M plus 8N times 14 equals 1, right? Okay, so that means 8M plus 12N equals 1 over 10, and 6M plus 8N equals 1 over 16, right? Okay, so how do we solve it? You can times 3 to both sides of the first equation, which is 24M plus 60N, 66N. Okay, and times 4 to both sides of the second equation, 24M plus okay. Suppose this is 1 and this is 2, and then we can use number 1 minus number 2, and this will give us 4N equals, okay, which is 70, 21 minus 20, which is 1 over 70, right? Okay, so that means N is 1 over 280. Okay, so let's call this number 3. Then we can put number 3 back into number 1, which we can get M is 1 over 140, right? Okay, so we have solved M and N because M is 1 over W. 1 over W is 140. So that means W is 140. W is a value you want, right? Okay, N is 1 over 280. So that means 1 over G is 1 over 280. So that means G is 280. So here we have solved the W and G. So we can now make the conclusion. One woman takes one woman can paint it in 140 hours and one girl in 280 hours. Okay. Any questions? No? Okay, let's see next one. Okay, this time we want to know the weight of each fruit, right? Okay, suppose Orange is R unit, and apple is A unit, and banana is B unit. And we want to know the value of R, A, and B, right? So what information do we have here? First, we know that 3 orange plus 2 apple plus 1 banana equals 15 unit. Next, we also know 5 oranges plus 7 apples plus 2 bananas equals 54 units, right? Next, we know 1 orange plus 3 apples plus 5 bananas equals 26 unit, right? Okay, so now we have 3 variables and 3 equations. We should be able to find the value of each variable, right? Okay, so let's start from the first equation. First equation gives us B equals 15 minus 3R minus 3A, right? So let's call this 4. And then we can put 4 into the second one and the third one. Okay, if we put it in the second one, we will get 5R plus 7A plus 2B, which means 2 of this expression, right? Equals 44. So that means 5R plus 7A plus 30 minus 6R minus 4A equals 44. Okay, and further expanded, further simplified to minus R plus 3A equals 14, right? Okay, so that means R is 3A minus 14. Okay? So let's call this number 5. And then if we put number 4 into number 3, we can get R plus 3A plus 5B. 5 of 15 minus 3R minus 2A, right? Okay, this equals 26. So further simplified to minus 14R minus 7A equals minus sorry, better to write one more step here. R plus 3A plus 75 minus 15R minus 10A equals 26, right? Okay, then further simplified to minus 14R minus 7A equals minus 49. So let's call this 6. Then we can put 5 into 6, right? So this will give us minus 14R, which is 3A minus 14. Minus 7A equals minus 49, right? So this will give us minus 42A plus 196 minus 7A equals minus 48. So we can solve A is actually 5, right? Let's call this number 7. Okay, then we can put number 7 into number 5 to get the value of R. R is 3A minus 14, which is 1, right? Okay, let's call this number 8. Again, we can put number 8 and number 7 into number 4 to get the value of B. B is 15 minus 3 minus 10, which is 2, right? Okay, so final solution is the orange. Is R unit. Okay, it should be an orange. Orange is R unit. R is 1, right? So an orange is 1 unit. An apple is 5 unit. And a banana is 2 units. Okay? Any questions? Sorry, we're a little late. I'll quickly wrap up, okay? Last question. Okay, so here we know I'm thinking of a two-digit number. If the digits of any number are reversed, the new number is 36 greater than my original number. If the tens digits of my original number is doubled and the units digits is halved, the new number is 17 greater than my original number. What is my original number? So how do we represent a two-digit number? Suppose, for example, we have 21. How do we express 21? 21 is 2 times 10 plus 1, right? So if we have a two-digit number, suppose it's xy, how do we express this two-digit number? It's actually 10 times x plus y, right? This is a quantity of this two-digit number. Okay, so let's say, suppose the 10th digit is x, and the units digit is y. Then the number should be 10x plus y, right? Because when you have a 10th digit x and the units digit y, you will have 10x plus y. This is the actual number, right? This is our original number. Okay, when reverse, the number becomes, when you reverse the 10th digit and the units digit, the number becomes actually 10y plus x, right? This is the original, this is a reversed. So what piece of information do we have here? If the digits of my number are reversed, the new number is 36 greater than my original number. So that means this is a new number, right? And the new number is 36 greater than the original. Original is 10x plus y, right? This is the first piece of information. Next, if the 10th digit of my original number is doubled, so that means the number now becomes 10 times 2x, right? Because your 10th digit is doubled and the units digit is halved. So that means unit digits become a half of y, right? This is our new digit here. The new digit is 17 greater than my original number. So that means it equals 17 plus the original number, right? So this is interpreted from the given information. So what do we have here? You can simplify the system first, which you will get 9x plus 9y equals minus 36. Second equation, you will get 10x minus 1/2 of y equals 17, right? Okay, so this is further equivalent to x minus y equals minus 4, and 20x minus y equals 34, right? Okay, so this is called 1, this is called 2. If we put number 1 into number 2, what do we get here? We will get 19x equals 38, right? Okay, so that means x is 2. So remember what x is. X is your 10th digit, right? Okay, so let's call this 3. And then we can put 3 back into 1 to solve y is x plus 4, which is 6, right? And y is your units digit. So the original number is 26, right? Okay, please have a look at that. Do you have any questions? Okay, if you don't, I'll put this in Google Classroom, okay? Remember to have a look at that to help you correct your your solutions, okay? And I probably will upload a new assignment early tomorrow. Please remember to download that, okay? All right, if you don't have any questions, you can leave the class. Do remember to correct the mistakes in this assignment, okay? Have a good night.